Hey everybody, it's your boy Pee back with another video. Today we're going to be discussing a new manhwa that has come out. It's called the Double S Class Freshman of the Magic Academy, or the Double S Rank Freshman at Dawn Academy. A quick synopsis of the story. Our main character, his name is Zhao Lin. He is a graduate from university. However, he lives a relatively mundane life. Basically, his family kicked him out and called him a loser because he wasn't really particularly good at anything. So he made a living basically boosting people in video games. One day he gets this letter delivered to his door, and basically when he goes to open it, he gets this, kind of like a forced transportation thing, teleportation to Dawn Academy. It's the admission letter. It's this basically a transmigrating to a different world. He goes to this new world. I've only read the first chapter. As I said, with these first impressions, I usually only read the first chapter, maybe the second chapter, depending on if I didn't have enough to talk about. But so basically, he goes to this new world. Basically he goes to this Dawn Academy, and there, they have a potential assessment like character stats in a video game. Um, Basically, they can have like special talents, and like everybody has different attribute values depending on um, basically their own constitution, body type, so on and so forth. Uh, and now in this school, there's credits and there's redemption points. Those are like the two main currencies used in this school. How do they get those? Basically, they complete tasks or defeat monsters. Basically, these trials. But basically, our main character, his stats are basically a whopping like two, 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 three. He has F minus rankings, and essentially he is basically a real loser, is what this academy professor says. But our main character has been called a loser his whole life, and so typically with these power fantasy stories, there's some kind of cheat, right? Well, the double S rank, where our title comes from, he gets this double like this talent name question mark talent grade question mark after the system finally like, starts to reboot and whatnot. It gives us the idea of what his talent is. His learning ability is greatly enhanced. He basically can learn uh, all abilities faster. He's able to straight up copy abilities equivalent to the rank of the skill. So as this skill levels up, so will the rank of skills that he's able to copy. um, he's able to name it. He names it Scholar, and the system grades it as a double S, which is where the SS grade comes from in the title. Um, and basically, this is where his power fantasy begins to start. Now, Dawn Academy is basically a place where there's trials. If you die, you lose like 10 years of lifespan. Everybody has a different version amount of lifespan. Our main character had like 60 years left. But that really isn't important. The important part is that when he dies, he loses the lifespan. So essentially, he's going to try his best to complete these trials without dying. I assume he's going to use his talent to either learn abilities or copy them from these monsters, from these other people he has to fight as he continues to grow stronger, level up his stats, and basically acquire skills nonstop until he becomes the strongest. But yeah, that's pretty much what it seems to me is gonna be. It's kind of like just your, average Chinese power fantasy, with a weak main character to start, who gets a cheat skill and becomes powerful. I will say the arts, it's nothing special. It's not bad. As you can see here, like the instructor here using one of his skills, like it's decent. Like it's nothing special. It's nothing terrible. I'd say it's it's all right. What else should I talk about? I think the plot's gonna be anything special? Probably not. I feel like it's just going to be your average Chinese power fantasy. Doesn't seem like there's gonna be any like etchy art or like a harem or anything like that. It's just going to be like a pure action fantasy, power fantasy comic. So, if you're bored and have nothing else to read out now, this would definitely be something to check out. While once more chapters are out, there are only five. But I will say, if you're looking for something like really good or something really interesting or something like different, you're not gonna get that with this one. It's good, just your average power fantasy, and I mean, if that's what you like, I eat that shit like slop. So like, I will be reading this in the future once more chapters come out, because power fantasies are my shit. So, but yeah, that'll be it for this video. I'd say keep an eye on it if you are interested, and if you're not, you're probably not missing out on much. I would do ask that you guys please subscribe. Help me grow this channel. I really hope to, make this what I do for a living, and just create a community where I can just share in the love of my comics, and just sharing the love of everybody's comics and how much they love these comics and how much they love to read them, and just talking about the comics and whatnot. So, but I'd appreciate if you'd like, subscribe, and kept coming back. See you guys in the next one. Peace.